Hello friends, this is our 8th lecture on feminism, feminist thought and activity. Now what we find today is we are trying to find out the feminist readings of the European tradition. That is deconstruction and feminist readings of the European tradition. How European tradition has been deconstructed. Deconstructed means found out the fault lines. Fault lines means mistake. Simple language is mistake, fault lines, and then correcting. That's all. Correcting. You try to find out the mistake of the given matter or text or a binary or two words. You can say two words. You find how they are. What is wrong with that kind of binaries, so to say, or we say that kind of polarities. See, you find out that, and then you correct the fault, or by showing that. Sometimes we can show by showing that the thing is self-contradictory. So that means then it is wrong. Then what is the right thing? You have to find out. Understand? Or you can replace it. These binaries can be, usually they are hierarchical. For example, you have good, bad. That is a binary. Hierarchical binary. Good, bad. Now here one is presence, other is the lack of that. Good is present. Something is there. Some positive quality. And the positive quality, if that positive quality lacks in something, then you say it is bad. So this is how the binaries are structured or built up. Now you can see even this in simple way you can reconstruct. Deconstruct means again trying to find out the fault line or mistake or error. See, for example, this is hierarchical. Hierarchical binary means this has got an edge, or you can say this is better than, first one is better than the second one, or higher than the second one. That's called hierarchical binaries. Now when you say good, bad, you take I am trying to explain this to you in a common man's way of looking at things. If it's good, see, if you take the example of the Good Samaritan. Good Samaritan. The good people, they turned out to be bad people. The priest and the Levite. Supposed to be good in society. But they turned out to be bad. And the bad man turned out to be good. The Samaritan. So you can see this contradiction there is. So there is nothing absolute good and absolute bad. So this binary has been deconstructed. See, a very simple way of understanding this. Understand? I hope that you follow. Okay, so almost all the binaries are like this. Almost all the binaries that we find in Western philosophy. Because Western philosophy is male dominated. That's one of the reasons why this feminist thought and activity and the feminist reading of European tradition trying to deconstruct it, etc. Understand? Now, feminist theories were being incorporated, or feminist theorists, they were incorporating deconstructive strategies in their work. Deconstructive, now you got an idea about deconstruction, a simple way of deconstructing. Of course, the whole thing starts from Saussure, who says there is nothing in language. Absolutely nothing. And you know the famous example of cat and dog. Cat, can you see any part of a cat in CAT? Can you see? No. Any part in dog? No. What is it? It's a sound cat. The other is dog. And visually you find CAT, the other is a. You don't have dog or cat there. So meaning is arbitrary. Arbitrary means it is no logic. There is no reason. Why should you say this is cat, this is dog? There's no reason. And cat doesn't present any meaning before it. Dog also. But then what makes the meaning? The meaning making process is done by the difference. See that? Here also when good and bad. It's the difference. And then once you know that the meaning itself, the language itself is incapable of expressing any meaning, then what is the use of all this discourse and things like that if you go to that extent? I hope you understand that atmosphere of deconstruction, isn't it? Yes. And then what happens is, in French feminist thinking, thought, French theorists, for example, they started, because they are in the European tradition, so they were incorporating deconstructive strategies in their work to show that there is nothing like male supremacy, male and female, they are equal. After all, what is the aim of feminism and the feminist movements? To establish the fact that there is no difference between the two genders or two sexes. There may be slight biological difference when you say about sexes, but as far as gender is concerned, there is absolutely no difference. This is our aim. I think that in the last lecture I just touched upon this. I gave you the example of that how Freud defined woman and so on. That we will take up today also in detail. There is a book written by Helen Sissos and the other person, Catherine Clements. Helen Sissos. Helen Sissos. Sissos and Catherine Clements. They wrote a book that is in 1975. The book was published in 1975. And the title of the book was The Newly Born Woman. The Newly Born Woman. That was the title. The Newly Born Woman. The Newly Born Woman. That was the title of this book, written by Helen, sorry, there is an E also here. Helen Sissos. Sissos and Catherine Clement. Sissos is a French name, there's a special type of pronunciation there. Helen Sissos and Catherine Clement, they are there. And then what they did is that, they certain hierarchical they made a list of certain hierarchical oppositions. I just know good, bad, life, death, day, night, like this. Good, bad, bad, day, night, light, dark. See, they are hierarchical oppositions. Hierarchical means what? Culture, nature. See, male, female. Culture, nature. So there is another one. Culture, nature, male, female. Male, female. So they are hierarchical opposition. That means the first is superior, the second is inferior. That's the meaning of hierarchical opposition. For example, good is superior, bad is inferior, or it lacks. Bad is lacking good, night is lacking day, dark is lacking light, nature is lacking culture, female is lacking male. Did you get that? So there is a pair like this. There are many more. For example, you can see among the Greeks, you have got the hierarchical opposition is active and passive. See, every culture has this, active and passive. In religion, we have a God and man, and Christian and Jew. That is this other. And in the racist thinking, for example, colonialism also, you have Western and Oriental, white and black. So this in every culture you have got this. So for us, important thing is male, female, and how these fathers they are going to deconstruct that. That means to point out this, there is no difference between male and female. So by this hierarchical binary, the authors of this hierarchical binary, that is European tradition. You have seen European tradition, the readings of European tradition, male and female. We will take this and see how they are proceeding, male, female. Now before that, as I have already pointed out in my last lecture, there was a deconstruction. A very classic example of deconstruction we saw in Plato. That is Socrates he is quoting Socrates in Pharmacy, that's the title. So there what happens is he says writing and speech. Speech and writing. Plato gives this example from Socrates. So Socrates said, speech is superior to writing. That's what Socrates said. Writing is inferior. But what happens today is, we come to know of the writings, the ideas of the philosophy of the wisdom of Socrates through writing. So that is self-contradictory. So we have deconstructed this pair. Once again I will tell you, in this hierarchy, according to Socrates, speech is superior and writing is inferior. Alright, now Plato gives this example, he takes this example. He quotes him, so to say, or in his recording he will find this. He did not deconstruct it. In Pharmacy, that is the title of the treatise where you find this. Plato's Pharmacy. Pharmcy. So you will find this. And here it stands as such. So everybody thought that speech is better than writing. Now later on he found out the fault line. What is the fault line? The fault line, it is contradictory. Why? Because Socrates said that speech is better than writing, but where is the speech of Socrates? You can't find anywhere. So you come to know of the theories of the wisdom of the ideas of Socrates through writing. Therefore what happened? This binary has been reversed. So today it stands like this: writing, speech. So today this is superior and this is inferior. So here there is a reversal of the binaries. Understand? Because the other thing is self-contradictory. This is a very good example a simple example for deconstruction. Deconstruction means finding out the fault line and correcting that situation. That's the thing. See, that's one aspect of deconstruction. Another we will take when we take the literary studies. Now. Okay. So here is male female. So speech writing reversed to writing speech. Understand that? So in that way, male female, now the French feminist theorists, they are trying to deconstruct it. And this happens in these two authors. Their book is The Newly Born Woman, and there, let's say how they proceed. First they give a list of this, hierarchical binaries like this, so day and night, etc. And then what happened is, they male female, and they did not want to reverse it. But they replaced this by a third option. Not to reverse, but to think in a third way. That's what they did. What is the third way? Alright, they said, keep it here. Alright, keep it there. Now instead of that, instead of male, female, they gave a new concept, bisexuality. So that means, here you have got a boy, here you have got a girl. Both are same. Both are bisexual. Understand that? By using this word instead of male, female, so they have deconstructed male and female. They have removed. Or they did not reverse it. Instead, they said, they used this bisexuality. Bisexuality means a refusal to give importance to one single sexual organ for the production of pleasure. See, what happens is that when male, female, male has a superiority because of certain reasons. So they said, no, it's not like that. So it is not, what they did was this, and they just did not say in this, from their intuition, that they did not say. They said, they totally refused to focus or give importance to a single sexual organ in favor of the undifferentiated pleasures of the flesh. In simple language, they said, if you want to enjoy the pleasures of the flesh, you should have both, equal. Both sexuality of both male and female are equally important in the production of pleasure. This they did not from their intuition. For one fine morning, it did not come down to us from the blue sky. No. So what they did was, they, by sexuality is thus, they applied this. In this way, they applied deconstructive strategy to sexuality. And this, they took in fact, they were drawing on, we can say like that, psychoanalysis and anthropological texts, such as, you have heard of Marcel Mauss, Marcel Mauss. So they have authority. Marcel Mauss. Marcel Mauss, the essay on the gift. Essay on the gift. Essay on the gift. So that is Marcel Mauss. Mauss essay. So you have got the supported, their idea is supported, or they studied, they went through many tracks of psychoanalysis and anthropology, and finally they came to this conclusion. Understand? So this is it's a common theme. The French feminists, in other French feminists also, not only these two, but Lucy Irigaray, you have come across that name, and Julia Kristeva. Lucy Irigaray. I think you know this name, isn't it? Lucy. So we have, what have we done? We have come up to this point that this male-female, that hierarchical binary has been replaced by, they did not reverse it, replaced by bisexuality. For this, they got support from the texts on books on psychoanalysis and also anthropology. One such book is, or one such material is Marcel Mauss' essay on the gift. Understand? Now, the same method is used by Lucy Irigaray and Julia Kristeva. So these are very famous names now in in our feminist thinking and feminist activities, action and so on. The very famous people, Lucy Irigaray and Julia Kristeva. And up to this it's alright, perfectly alright. So male-female has been deconstructed. Or you can say, they did not reverse it, but by using another word, bisexuality. That means a refusal to give any prominence to any one of the sexual organs for production of pleasure. Both are equally required. That's it. So it is, and the word is bisexuality. They have replaced it by bisexual. Now, as I mentioned in my last lecture, there comes another person, Sarah Kaufman. Sarah Kaufman, she gives an example also. Sarah Kaufman. Remember I told you, no, the other day. Sarah Kaufman. Now she says, her contention is this, that Freud defines woman. How does Freud define woman? One by lack and the other by excess. So as far as Freud is concerned, woman, you have got a lack and you have got an excess. So this is the picture of woman. Understand? Now before that, when you have bisexuality, I did not complete that point. Bisexual, if you allow that, what happens is, let it be here, now confusion, we'll come back to this. And you have got a little boy. Little boy. Then you have got a little girl. So we are going back a little, I just missed that point, so I am just coming back. Now bisexuality is the point. Bisexuality. That is, by which male, female, that binary, that hierarchical binary, we have this, they have a deconstruct. Okay, little girl. So what happens is, both are same, because both are bisexual. Right? Both are bisexual. So little girl here, little boy here. Then both are bisexual. No difference between the no difference at all. But in European way of thinking, or tradition, male discourses, the whole thing is by in European male discourse tradition of male discourse, because it is dominated by male discourse, as we know. Now what happens is that here, this bisexuality accepted, but in the discourses of European intellectual tradition, what is given importance is to the masculine, and feminine, that is inferior. This is superior, you can say. Boy, masculine, superior, and this is inferior. Feminine is inferior. This is European tradition. Understand? Therefore, what happens? Bisexual comes now, but before that we are talking about. See, then what happens? The boy becomes a man with his superiority, and the girl becomes a woman with her inferiority. So what happens? Male, female. That hierarchy established in European thought. Why? Because the traditional European thinking is that man is superior and woman is inferior. But actually, they both are equal. But what has happened is this. The little boy becomes a man, superior, and the little girl becomes a woman, inferior. Therefore, you have got this male-female polarity. Polarity, P-O-L-A-R-I-T-Y, polarity, male-female polarity. So this is what, by using bisexuality, Siso and Catherine, they have deconstructed. And this is what Irigaray and Julia Kristeva also trying to do. That's tradition. Understand how the tradition came up because of male-dominated discourses, European discourse, intellectual discourses. Understand? And then we come back to woman, Freud's definition of woman. And the example given by Sarah Kaufman, how these things happen. Another example for male superiority, how male superiority was established. So Freud defined woman by a lack and an excess. What is the lack? The other day I told you, if they fix, what we call in our ordinary language, penis envy. They lack that. So woman, Freud said that they have this envy. They are envious of. And woman, they have got an excess. One lack and the other presence. What is that excess? Narcissism. Excess is narcissism, means self-love. And therefore, they are indifferent. Therefore, they are indifferent to others. They don't bother because they are self-contained. Up to this, I think it is no problem for us to follow. Now, what happens is, as a result of this, woman becomes happy with her self-love. She is indifferent to others. Alright. Now, what about man? Man lacks narcissism, self-love. So he wants a love object. Man is in need of a love object. Love object. So object, subordinate. So man, because in European tradition there is already a discourse, rational, irrational. Man is supposed to be rational. Again, that is the background. Rational and woman, irrational. Man is intelligent. Intelligence we can understand, rational, irrational, that is that. So what happens is, using his brain, he thought, I cannot exist with, I don't have self-love or narcissism, so I want a love object. So what happens is that he subordinated woman, or the subordination of woman takes place in this way. Look at that. And in one more point that is hidden is phallocentrism. That's what I said, lack here, or penis envy. They have a lack. So they have a tendency to compensate also. Therefore, what happened is, woman becomes man's love object. And love object means what? That is, we find this subordination. Man subordinates woman's sexual desires to his so that's it. Man subordinates woman's sexual desires to his. This is what happens, because he needs a love object. Therefore, man subordinates woman's sexual desires to his. Man subordinates woman's sexual desires to his. So what happens? The binary comes in, male superior and female inferior, subordination. Therefore, Freud actually, because in European tradition there exists another binary, there is a rational irrational. Superior is already established there. Then what happens here is, so Freud blames nature. Very interesting, no? So Freud blames nature for the subordination of his subordination of woman's sexual desires to his. He says it is not culture, it is nature. Another way, culture is not responsible for this hierarchical binary or hierarchical polarity. No, it is nature, because nature made her like that. Well, very nice idea. So, therefore, you remember Ciso and Catherine Clement, they replaced this binary by bisexuality. See? And then they deconstructed this or removed this, or let it be there, who cares? The actual fact they established like this, not as they liked, but drawing examples and theories from psychoanalytical texts and also anthropological texts. So this male-female binary has been replaced by bisexuality. With this, equality of man and woman has been established. This is the way deconstruction has been applied to feminist, European tradition. Understand? If you have clearly followed my argument, not my argument, I am just presenting it from, see, these people, Sarah Kaufman and so on. Say how beautifully this has been done. Man is rational, so he is superior. Say intelligence-wise, he is superior. So he wants a love object, then he subordinates the sexual desires of woman to his. He becomes superior. Therefore, the feminist thinkers, for example, like Ciso and Clement, they reversed this. They did not reverse it, because reversing a binary means another binary will take its place. That may be more powerful than the present one. Isn't it? The treatment will be worse than the disease. So they did not do that. Instead, what they did, they thought in a third way. The third way is bisexuality, and with that, equality has been established. Did you get that point? So the whole problem is with the intellectual tradition of Europe. Because, as we have seen, it is, again you can see, that is another author, you can see, that is, that equating, so that is another, as we have already seen, another rational, irrational, that is the basis of this, so to say, we can see. In another, at another text is there, in pre-Oedipal sexuality. Pre-Oedipal sexuality. But the male is given superiority. So there's another reading. Anyway, what happens is, so Freud says that because of this subordination, woman can react in two ways. One, hostility, hostile towards man, or remain frigid. Both these are possible. Understand? Now, when you see this reason with the masculine, the concept of reason evolved through European philosophy. Understand? Reason or rationality, if you equate with masculine, that is no, it's not our fault or the present situation, fault of the present situation, because the whole thing, the reason, the concept of reason evolved through European philosophies. So what happens is, masculine has value and feminine there is a lack. This one more reason why the whole thing has become so complicated. So what happens is this, you will find that rational and rational, irrational, they have got a gendered meaning. Gendered meaning. Understand? You have had another name that is another thinker, another feminist thinker, that is Genevieve Lloyd. Have you heard of that? Genevieve. Genevieve Lloyd. This is she who is trying to say trying to deconstruct this rational irrational. This pair. She was trying to do that. Rational irrational. Because you should have other support also. You have the support of the psychoanalysis, you have the support of anthropology, now you have got the support of Lloyd. And what happens there is that in her book, in the book Man of Reason, the Man of Reason. The Man of Reason, that's the title of the book. She tries to deconstruct this binary, rational, irrational. Rational has value, and this value has been given by evolved through European philosophy, European way of thinking. And then finally, she also refuses to reverse this. Instead, she makes a very good observation. She says, a space has already been created, prepared for correcting this polarity within the intellectual tradition of Europe itself. Within the intellectual tradition of Europe itself, there is a space. A space has been created for deconstructing or correcting this rational irrational polarity, because it has been already found that this European reason, the concept of reason, evolved. It was a one-sided evolution through European philosophy, and that is controlled by male domination. So a space has already been created. So she says that I do not want to deconstruct, or I do not want to reverse this female rational. I do not want to do that, because already European philosophy stands discredited, or we can say it has already been, suggestions has already been given to tell us that this has to be changed. So in two ways you can see how these people, these authors, they have established the male-female equality. Male-female equality. One, by the thinking, a new thought, bisexual. Second, taking the rational irrational. The author says that Lloyd says that it stands, the European philosophy stands discredited because of this. So a space has already been created for correction. Therefore, I do not want to enter into it. This is how deconstruction is used in feminist thinking and the feminist philosophy. Understand? And finally, what is the end product? The end product is both are equal. There is nothing superior in male or nothing inferior in female. Both are equal. They are bisexual and both are rational. Then what more do you want? See that how strategies like reading strategies, deconstruction is a reading strategy. How such reading strategies can correct a faulty situation, a fault line. So correcting the fault line, that is one of the aims or goals of deconstructive reading, which is a method of reading texts and dismantling, if you want to say, call it, or trying to find out, or uncovering, you can say, uncovering the truth in a discourse or in a text. I think you have followed this argument, which is not mine, which I tried to learn, so to say, and present it before. Of course, we can, if you have time, go through all this original text. You can say the newly born woman, you can say. Or you can say the man of reason, or you can say the essay on the gift by Marcel Mauss. Available, if these books are available in your library, it will be a reading adventure for you. Understand that? And you get a first-hand information about what I said. What I have been talking to you is only second-hand information. Means what I have tried to understand, then to explain this to you. I think that you have profited, at least it's for academic purpose. You cannot go in public and then go on giving a speech on this. How many people will understand, we do not know. Or you have to put the whole argument in a popular way, a layman's understanding. That's, as I in the beginning deconstructed good, bad, good, bad. So like that. If you want to put it in that way, you can do that. That's all up to you, young people. You have got an academic adventure for you to deconstruct this masculine, feminine in your own way. Masculine, feminine, hierarchical binary. Okay, see you. If you have got any problems, you can contact me. I will try my best to explain things to you again. So till we meet again. So let's bye bye. Have a nice time. Enjoy your life.